some arm and guillotines today, and the arm and guillotine is really, like, I think it's the most difficult choke to learn. There's a lot going on right here. I'm gonna try and present it. I taught it Friday. I'm gonna try and present it a little bit differently today, and so we'll see how that kind of works. But the arm and guillotine is really difficult, and you have to understand, like, one of the big reasons why is because, to me, it's vastly different than the anaconda and the guillotine. So the anaconda and guillotine really work well together as a movement, okay? But for the arm and guillotine, you're gonna have to do have some different skills, okay? And the movement pattern's a little bit different. And so that's one of the big struggling points, right? Is guys go, well, man, I've got a good guillotine, or I kind of understand this movement here. Why can't I hit that? And it's like, that's actually part of the reason why you can't hit an arm and guillotine, is because your body naturally is going towards maybe what you're doing with the anaconda. So when you do what you're doing with the anaconda, you'll never hit an arm and guillotine, okay? And so especially for guys that, you know, are bigger, that are trying to bully in, or wrestlers, you have to have an arm and guillotine. The anaconda is going to be much more difficult on those guys. Again, for me, guard players, jiu-jitsu guys, that's where I like to attack the anaconda, because they're always going to try and go to their back. They just try to play guard. Even like the highest level guys, they start getting in chokes to try and go back. But you know, the toughest guys, like the wrestlers, the MMA fighters, they're always trying to bully in. They're trying to use that guillotine to pass. Okay, and so when I'm getting this front headlock, okay, and I change completely how I do all my chokes just for these types of players. Because before I would do everything straight arms, but against the like guys like Hugo and stuff, it's almost impossible to you know, they just bully in. They're so thick that it can be very difficult, even if you get them on their side, to even just lock in an anaconda, you know, let alone where the arm and guillotine is kind of the natural play here. So when I'm controlling the front headlock, I want to make sure that my hands, especially for this variation or for this attack, I want my hands to be just like right in line with the nipples, okay? Right in line, right here. I don't want to be too high. So the issue with most guys, arm and guillotines, is their hands slip, you know? They slip down to the chin, okay? And so I'm going to start right there, okay? Right in that line. I'm getting in this quadrant right here. So right there, you see, that's exactly where my hands are placed, okay? Not here, okay? Not through the side. I do not want my hands for an arm and guillotine all the way across, okay? I want them right there, okay? The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up, okay? Then after I pull up, I'm gonna turn my wrist and pull in, okay? So I pull up and in. Boom, boom, okay? Up and in. So we go up and in. Now my left knee, okay, is gonna go into this hole right here. I wanna try and get it in line with my hands, okay? So my left knee comes up into this line. So most of the time, if a guy's like trying to reach for a takedown, especially, yeah, here, boom, okay, my hands are in line, I pull up and in, left knee comes, it's in line with my hands. And now when I pull guard, this is really important. I do not fall like I'm going for an anaconda. So if I fall this way, you're gonna miss it every time, okay? I have to sit back like I'm going flat to my back. Okay, this right leg stretches out, it's here. And now I'm gonna pull him on top of me. And then now from here, I pinch this elbow. The whole time I should have been pinching my elbow. I pinch the elbow and you see how it slides up into the neck? You feel that, Evan? Mm-hmm. Here. And then from here again, no effort. You see I'm not pulling. Do not do this. I just keep that weight on the head and I crunch. And I get a very efficient finish right there, okay? So as always, I'd like to make you guys question whether it's gonna work. Like, oh man, you know, you should feel like you're not using attributes, especially when you're drilling. Okay, so I see a lot of guys, they try and make up for the lack of technique with pulling. Don't pull right there, okay? Just hold. You should feel. You feel how it comes right. You feel how it just slips in, because my hand's positioning when you have good hand position, it slips right into making it almost like the arm's not here. You know, it slides right in and becomes a blood choke. So again, we're gonna start with an outstretched opponent, because especially, again, guys that are wrestlers, they see these legs here, they're reaching around both hips, they're reaching around one hip, it doesn't matter, for one leg or both legs. If he reaches around both here, like he's going for a double leg, I'm grabbing. This is the perfect time to go for a good arm guillotine. Why? Because he's driving me to my back. Yes, if I try and fall to my side, I'm gonna miss it. You see, he just put me in the perfect arm in position. Come up, my hands are already in place. Okay. Any questions? You'll see with the hand positioning, when it's right, you'll feel right every single time it slips right into making it almost like a naked choke. When your hand positioning's poor and out of place, it'll slip to the jawline, your elbow go out of position, it just doesn't work. Okay, so the hand positioning and just kind of on your front headlock is crucial for a good arm guillotine. And making sure you're not doing your mechanics on, like your straight arm falling to your side. Do not do that. You're not gonna hit an arm guillotine. You're gonna make the guy fall over, but I do not want him falling to his back. Okay, I want to end up in guard. All the best arm guillotines are finished here. Either I'm in mount and my hips are in line with this head, or I'm in guard and my hips are in line with this head. Does that make sense? All right, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna practice this basic skill. This is the one you just gotta master. So now we kind of look at that, where an opponent now, he's grabbing, we're playing guard. So this is one of my favorite setups right here on guys that are here and they're trying to bury in. So a lot of times what guys will do is they'll try and put their chest, okay, right in the middle of your guard through your butterfly, right? And these hands come and they're trying to wrap. Okay, and so they're not trying to wrap your head right here. What they're trying to do is either get hip lock, like yes, this stuff, where you're like, oh my God, like dude, it's so hard to shrimp and move. He's bigger than me, he's stronger than me, it sucks. Okay, and this was a huge problem, because if he takes those hands away and he comes in like this, well now I can move my hips, you see, and I can start pushing them and trying to get guillotines. But once those hands lock, okay, like this, I can't move my hips. I can't get the same angle on my guillotine, okay? And it's really tough to attack. And so instead, the first mistake you're gonna make is you're gonna, back up a foot, is you're gonna use hooked butterflies, okay? One of the biggest mistakes guys make in their butterflies is they use hooks all the time. Actually, very rarely do I use hooks. The only time I use a hook is when I'm actually going for the sweep or an elevation. Most of the time I play my butterflies with pointed toes, okay? This stops my opponent. When I do this, my opponent gets my heels to my butt and it's very easy for them to pass, okay? And so instead, I point the toes like this, and now it creates a shin frame against their hip and they can't come in and break this space down. And so when my opponent comes in, you see my knees. If you watch the knees right here, this is really important. If he tries to like get my heels to my butt, like grab like a waist grip or anything. No, just grab a waist grip and now try and bring your knees up. You feel you can't like break that space down. Like the more you try, like keep doing that. It actually ends up breaking his body lock. And now my hips can move, you see? Now he's in trouble. But he didn't realize that. Because he's like, oh man, it's got my body lock, I'm about to jack this dude up. But since he can't break that space between my heels and my butt, the body lock is not as effective, okay? And so once my butt starts to clear his hands, the space to go in for the arm and guillotine is right there, okay? I always push the head to the side. That is my choking arm. So I'll take my right hand right here. So a lot of guys will bury here, I'll push it over. Here, okay? Once I'm here, my left hand comes straight up. It doesn't reach for a chin strap just yet. It comes straight up. This arm comes straight up. Wraps the head. Now he's dead. Because now when he tries to jump, I pull back. So he's here, he's trying to pass my guard. Yeah, you feel you can't get inside that, but I'm not using my hooks at all. If I try to elevate him now, yeah, like dude, I just brought him on top of me. And now he can start to, dude, yeah, I feel like that's affecting my lower back, like all this stuff. So instead, I just stay here. So now when he tries to bully past me, yeah, pass it, you know. See, I can feed it in. I grab, I don't care about the grip, and he's dead. He tries to go flat to his back, and he can't go. By far, one of the most valuable skills that those guys have really taught me is like how to stop guys passing when they get body locks and are burying in like that. Because again, I was a huge elevation player all the way up to black belt, where everything I did was trying to elevate with my butterflies. And so guys were taking advantage of me there. So now we're gonna start where opponent's gonna try and body lock. So big guys especially, I was like, dude, how do you always guillotine me? You know, and that's it. That's all I'm doing, I promise. Because most big guys, they just bury their head in there and they'll give up guillotines and just pass the guard. But that's all I'm doing. That's the only skill. It's just I'm pointing my toes and I just keep that frame. I just keep moving my hip till it's a little bit away, and I feel like I can sit up because you fall into the pocket. And now I'm gonna arm and guillotine. And so you're defending your guard. That's the most important thing. I'm defending the guard. Okay. Through the defense, my opponent overextends, and you're gonna feel when he starts to try and retreat or he overextends too much. That's what allows, you know, the movement to happen. Okay, but it's a lot of butterfly frame and just pushing the head side to side, keeping that. He's trying to go this way, I move the head. He's trying to go that way, I move the head. I don't let him get to the same side. But again, if you just go, all right, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna reach up for his head, you're gonna get crushed, you know? Or again, what most people do with their butterflies, they try and elevate. And those guys are really hard to sweep too. And so when you're trying to do that, it becomes very disheartening. Oh, I almost had that elevation. Well, it's just then you end up flat on your back and you're like, oh no, like, it's got 4 minutes left. This dude's got a grip on my waist and oh, it sucks, you know? And those are the best rounds. Really, really, really teaches you a lot. So, you know, the easiest is always gonna be, you know, a guy goes for a double leg on you, he's wrapping around your waist, and if you have that arm and guillotine in the bag, you're jumping guard. You know, just like Brian Ortega, or even again, man, I mean, dude, how close was Poirier to finishing Khabib? Nice work, guys. I hope you enjoyed this month, and we'll get some hard rolls in.